Letter 32, A Change of Focus. With the guidance of the teacher, during the last few weeks, I have been going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it. You smile at the veiled reference. But have not certain friends of yours actually feared me, as if I were the devil of the book of Job? Now, to be serious, I have been visiting those lands and cities where in former lives I lived and worked among men. One of the many advantages of travel is that it helps a man to remember his former existences. There is certainly a magic in places. I have been in Egypt, in India, in Persia, in Spain, in Italy. I have been in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Greece, Turkey, and many other lands. The Dardanelles were not closed to me recently, when by reason of the war you could not have passed through. There are advantages to almost every condition, even my present one, for the law of compensation holds good. In certain lives of the past I was a wide traveler. Now you may wonder how it is that I pass easily from this world to yours, seeing into both. But you must remember that your world and mine occupy about the same space, that the plane of the Earth's surface is one of the lower and more material planes of our world, using the word plane as you would use the word layer. As I have said before, there are also places accessible to us which lie at some distance above the Earth's surface. Mansions in the skies are more than figurative. I have only slightly to change my focus at any time, to find myself in your world. That I cannot be seen there with the naked eye is no proof that I am not there. Without that change of focus, which is done through an action of will and by knowing the method, I might even be occupying the same space as something in your world, and not know it. Note well this point, for it is only half of something which I have to say. The other half is that you also may at any time be, so far as space is concerned, in the immediate neighborhood of interesting things in our world, and not know that you are there. But if you focus to this world, you are more or less conscious of it. So when I, knowing how, focus to your world, I am there in consciousness, and can enjoy the varied sights of many cities, the changing aspects of many lands. When I first came out, I could not see my way about the earth very well. But now I can see better. No, I am not going to give you a formula to give to other people by which you or they could change focus at will and enter into relation with this world, because such knowledge at the present stage of human progress would do more harm than good. I merely state the fact and leave the application for those who have the curiosity and the ability to demonstrate it. My object in writing these letters is primarily to convince a few persons, to strengthen their certainty in the fact of immortality, or the survival of the soul after the bodily change, which is called death. Many think they believe who are not certain whether they believe or not. If I can make my presence as a living and vital entity felt in these letters, it will have the effect of strengthening the belief of certain persons in the doctrine of immortality. This is a materialistic age. A large percentage of men and women have no real interest in the life beyond the grave. But they will all have to come out here sooner or later, and perhaps a few will find the change easier, the journey less formidable, by reason of what I shall have taught them. Is it not worthwhile? Is it not worth a little effort on your part as well as on mine? Any person approaching the great change who shall seriously study these letters and lay their principles to heart, and who shall will to remember them after passing out, need not fear anything. We all fail in much that we undertake, but I hope I shall not fail in this. Do not you fail on your side. I could not do this work without you, nor could you do it without me. That is in answer to the supposition that I am your subconscious mind. I have been in Constantinople and have stood in the very room where I once had a remarkable experience, hundreds of years ago. I have seen the walls. I have touched them. I have read the etheric records of their history, and my own history in connection therewith. I have walked the rose gardens of Persia, and have smelled the flowers, the grandchildren, hundreds of times removed, of those roses whose fragrance was an ecstasy to me when, watching with the bulbul, I paced there in another form and with intentions different to mine now. It was the perfume of the roses which made me remember. In Greece also, I have lived over the old days, before their degeneration began, what a race they were. I think that concentration was the secret of their power. The ether around that peninsula is written over with their exploits, in daring thought as well as daring action. The old etheric records are so vivid that they shine through the later writings, for you must know that what are called astral records lie layer against layer everywhere. We read one layer instead of another, either by affinity or by will. It is no more strange than that a man may go among the millions of volumes in the British Museum and select the one he wants. The most marvelous things are always simple of explanation if one has the key to unlock their secret. There has been much nonsense written about vibration, but nevertheless truth lies thereabouts. Where there is so much smoke, there must be fire. In India, I have met with yogis in meditation. Do you know why their peculiar way of breathing produces psychic results? No, you do not. Now let me tell you, by holding the breath long a certain, shall I say poison, is produced in the body, which poison, acting on the psychic nature, changes the vibration. That is all. Volumes have been written about yoga, but have any of them said that? The untrained healthy lungs in the ordinary operation get rid of this poison by processes well known to physiologists, that is, in the natural man, adjusted to and working contentedly on the material plane. But in order for a man still living on the material plane to become adjusted to the psychic world, a change of vibration is necessary. His change of vibration may be produced by a slight overdose of the above-mentioned poison. Is it dangerous? Yes, to the ignorant. To those who are learned in its use, it is no more dangerous than most of the drugs in the pharmacopoeia. Another time I will tell you about other secrets which I have discovered going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it. Letter 33. 5 Resolutions. I have stood at night on the roof of an oriental palace and watched the stars. You who can see into the invisible world by changing your focus can easily understand how I, by a reverse process, can see into the world of dense matter. Yes, it is the same thing, only turned the other way. I stood on the roof of an oriental palace and watched the stars. No mortal was near me. Looking down upon the sleeping city, I have seen the cloud of souls which kept watch above it, have seen the messengers coming and going. Once or twice a wan, half-frightened face appeared among the cloud of spirits, and I knew that, down below in the city, someone had died. But I had seen so many spirits since coming out here that I was more interested in watching the stars. I used to love them, and I love them still. Someday, if it is permitted, I hope to know more about them. But I shall not leave the neighborhood of the earth until these letters are finished. From the distance of the planet Jupiter, I might not be able to write at all. It is true that one can come and go, almost with the quickness of thought, but something tells me that it is better to postpone for a time my more extensive traveling. Perhaps when I get out there I shall not want to come back for a long time. It means much to me, this correspondence with Earth. During my illness I used to wonder if I could come back sometimes, but I never imagined anything like this. I would not have supposed it possible to find any well-balanced and responsible person with daring enough to join me in the experiment. I could not have written through the hand of a person of untrained mind unless he or she had been fully hypnotized. I could not have written through the hand of the average intellectual person, because such persons cannot make themselves sufficiently passive. Be at peace. You are not a spirit medium, using the word as it is commonly used, signifying a passive instrument, an aeolian harp, set in an aperture between the two worlds and played upon by any wind that blows. Except as illustrating the fact that it can be done, there is no great object in my telling you of the things I have seen in your world since coming to this other one. The next time you look out into this plane of life and see the wonderful landscapes and the people, remember that it is in a similar way that I look back into your plane of existence. It is interesting to live in two worlds, going back and forth at will. But when I go into yours, it is only as a visitor, and I shall never attempt to take a hand in its government. There is such a rigorous custom house on the frontier between the two worlds that the traveler back and forth cannot afford to carry anything with him, not even a prejudice. If you should come out here with a determination to see only certain things, you might give a wrong value to what you would see. Many have come out here at death with that mental attitude, and so have learned little or nothing. It is the traveler with the open mind who makes discoveries. I brought over with me only a few resolutions: to preserve my identity, to hold my memory of earth life, and to carry back the memory of this life when I should return to the world, to see the great teachers, to recover the memories of my past incarnations, to lay the necessary foundations for a great earth life when I should go back next time. That sounds simple, does it not? Already I have done much besides, but if I had not borne these points in mind, I might have accomplished little. The only really sad thing about death is that the average man learns so little from it. Only my realization of the fact that the chain of earth lives is relatively endless could keep me from regret that most persons make so little progress in each life. But I comfort myself with the assurance that there is no hurry, that the pearls in the chain of existence, though small, are all in their inevitable places, and that the chain is a circle, the symbol of eternity. And it seems to me, with my still finite view, that most men on this side waste their lives even as they do on your side. That shows how far I am yet from the ideal knowledge. Viewed from the stars, whence I hope someday to view them, all these flat stretches in the landscape of life may be softened by distance, and the whole picture may take on a perspective of beauty which I had not dreamed of while I myself was but a speck upon the canvas.